Now, even though I'm a huge fan of many different ETFs and many different fund providers, the ETFs from NEOS funds are some of my favorite across the entire market just because they more or less line up with the strategy and objectives that I personally am looking for in my long-term portfolio. Now, as of right now, across the entire NEOS funds catalog, there's 12 different ETFs, and some of them have certain things in common and some of them are very different than one another. Now, because there's 12 different ETFs as of right now in the NEOS ETF lineup, I wanted to make a video sharing with you guys in mid-2025 which are my absolute favorite ETFs from NEOS and share with you why, etc. And then also share with you some of the ETFs within this lineup that I'm not as big of a fan of. Now, I thought this would be pretty interesting because I know for a fact a lot of you guys either hold on to certain funds from NEOS or probably, if nothing else, have looked into a lot of different ETFs from NEOS. So if you guys want to see my absolute favorite to least favorite ETFs brought to us by NEOS, then make sure to stick around, drop a link down below, and let's go right into the first one. My A to Z dividend investing ebook has helped countless dividend investors get started with their journey. And my custom dividend tracker that I'm constantly using here on the channel has also helped so many investors stay on track and allow them to see their dividend income in real time. Well, today I have another treat for you guys. I'm not only going to offer you my A to Z dividend investing ebook and the custom dividend tracker, but also just for a short limited time, I'm going to be adding in my brand new weekly dividend blueprint ebook to show you how you can get started with weekly dividend ETFs and add this into your investing strategy. This offer is not going to last long, so go ahead and click the first link down below in my description, and you're going to get both ebooks and the custom dividend tracker bundle. But like I said, please act fast because this won't be around for long. Now let's get back into the video. Now, before we go through all the different funds, like I said, some of these ETFs have certain things in common, but for the most part, NEOS ETFs have become very popular just because of their performance, their total return, and of course, the income generation potential. I mean, if we were to sort these ETFs by highest yield to lowest yield, BTCI, for example, offers a 30+% distribution rate, and there's several different ETFs beyond that offer anywhere from 9 to 15%. Now, getting right into it, my number one favorite ETF from NEOS is going to have to be the NEOS S&P 500 High Income ETF, or SPYI. Now, even though SPYI is not the highest yielding ETF that NEOS has on their lineup as of right now, this ETF does offer you, or offer me, I guess, high income exposure through the S&P 500, which for me, the S&P 500 is sort of the gold standard. I do honestly want a ton of exposure in the S&P in my long-term portfolio, but through a high income strategy, which is why I own so many shares of this one in my long-term. Moving right along, number 2 out of 12, my next favorite ETF, which you guys might or might not be surprised that this isn't number 1. A lot of you guys, I'm guessing this is going to be number 1 for you, but number 2 is going to be the NEOS Nasdaq 100 High Income ETF, or ticker symbol QQQI. But the first of many reasons why this ETF is getting so much love as of recently from the community is because as of right now, it has like a 15% distribution rate. Now, even though there are going to be ETFs and stocks for that matter that are going to offer much more than 15%, this ETF offers exposure to the NASDAQ 100, which is a super high quality diversified index. But because the index does have some decent volatility, 15% yield is very realistic. Now, this ETF offers you high income exposure to the NASDAQ 100 index, which also is very important to have exposure to in my portfolio for me. So I also do own a ton of this one in my long term, but SPYI I just like a little bit more just because the S&P is a tiny bit less volatile than the NASDAQ, but with that volatility, you are going to get a higher distribution rate of around 15.3%. Now, side note, if you guys want to see me dig deep into any one of these ETFs and several others across the market, check out some other videos. That's basically all we talk about on my channel. Now, number 3 out of all the NEOS ETFs, this is one of my newer favorites, the NEOS Real Estate High Income ETF, or ticker symbol IYRI. Now, I get that a lot of dividend investors aren't the biggest fan of real estate investment trusts anymore just because REITs have been in a slump over the past several years. But real estate investment trust plus a data-driven call option strategy means that there is going to be a ton of income generation, not only from the yields of the REITs, but also because of the option strategy. We're talking 11 to 12% yield. Now, it's not only that, I'm also very bullish on real estate in the next 1, 2, 3 years. If and when the Federal Reserve does cut interest rates, I think real estate is finally going to recover at least somewhat. So I've been buying this one like crazy, as a lot of you guys probably already know, and I would definitely consider this one of my favorites. Now, moving further and further down the lineup, this would also be one of my newer favorites, BTCI, the NEOS Bitcoin High Income ETF. This ETF, like I shared with you guys earlier, offers a 30+% distribution rate. Now, this ETF offers such high income generation because Bitcoin is generally pretty volatile. Now, even though I'm not the biggest fan of crypto and or Bitcoin, I do like this strategy. I do definitely like this product a lot, and I do think that there is going to be a ton of income potential to be made with the volatility included in Bitcoin. Next up, another holding that I don't really talk about much. I do hold on to some of this one actually, the NEOS NASDAQ 100 Hedged Equity Income ETF. This one does offer some downside protection, and this ETF used to be NEWC or NUSI, if some of you guys remember. This ETF is going to be perfect for investors that are a little bit more risk averse, which I would consider myself. I haven't bought any more of this one in a very, very long time, but I've been holding on to it for like half a decade. Moving further down the list now, SPYH. This is a newer S&P 500 hedged equity income ETF strategy. This offers the same sort of downside protection that the last one does. I haven't bought this one. I would maybe consider it. The distribution is going to be a little bit less compared to SPYI, but also is probably going to be a little bit lower beta. Again, it's so hard to pick products, it's so hard to pick ETFs these days throughout the market because there's so many good ones to choose and there's not always enough money to go around. So out of all the ETFs, I probably wouldn't add this one necessarily, but it's still on one of my top on the list. Now for the rest of this NEOS ETF list, I have to be honest with you guys, I don't hold any shares of any of these. Honestly, as of right now, not saying that I wouldn't in the future, but IWMI, the NEOS Russell 2000 High Income ETF, this ETF offers a pretty high yield around 15.22%, offers you Russell 2000 exposure. I mean, Russell 2000 exposure is not bad whatsoever. I just really haven't found a reason to add Russell 2000 exposure, just because I personally would rather be more exposed to the S&P and the NASDAQ. The next ETF would have to be IAUI or the NEOS Gold High Income ETF. This ETF is definitely interesting. I don't know exactly what the yield's going to be. I mean, gold has been doing very well over the last year or so. Another ETF I would love to add to my portfolio, but there's just so many other ETFs way ahead of it. And again, there's only so much money to go around. Now, this next one's actually sort of interesting to me. This is basically like a T-bill ETF, which offers normally around 4.5% yield, just going off of current bond rates. But because this ETF utilizes a put option strategy, it actually offers some enhanced income and actually, as of right now, offers over a 5% distribution rate, which is sort of interesting. Now, when it comes to parking money on the sidelines, I've been using SGov or just sort of boring tried and true T-bill ETFs. But I mean, if this ETF can potentially offer me around a percentage more than say SGov, I mean, it's worth looking into a little bit deeper. Maybe I'll have to do so soon. Now, the last three names, again, names I probably wouldn't buy, at least for me personally, is going to be HYBI or the NEOS Income Credit Select ETF. Then next we have BNDI, the NEOS Enhanced Income Aggregate Bond ETF. Then last but not least, number 12, we have TLTI, the NEOS Enhanced Income 20 plus year Treasury Bond ETF. Again, an ETF I probably wouldn't buy, at least unless something else changes. So I will say NEOS as a provider pretty much has a product more or less that's offering most areas within the market as of right now for different risk levels, for different alternative investments, and pretty much everything else. I mean, there's definitely, of course, more they can add still, but as the lineup sits as of right now, it's honestly pretty impressive. But now that I share with you guys my top and my bottom NEOS ETFs from the absolute best to the worst, I want to hear from you guys down below. What are your top 3 NEOS ETFs as they sit currently in the market? Let me know down below in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to please drop a like on it and subscribe for more future content like this. Thanks as always for stopping by, and if you are interested in investing, make sure to check out these recent videos I posted right here.